All right, there, Latin 2. We are on chapter 52, page 277, the story of Papirius Praetextatus. Fun fact, the toga praetexta was not actually a Roman invention. They borrowed that from the Etruscans. In fact, most of the stuff that they do in their society, they didn't come up with. They're like the Steve Jobs of the Mediterranean world, but a little more mediocre, but just as wrathful. Anyway, let's see. Previously, or long ago, before, the custom for the senators in Rome was, let's see, to enter into the curia with their sons donning praetextas. So decked out in their praetexta, right? So that's makes some sense. It's a patriarchy. So you want your kids to learn how to govern. So you take them and you show them. Once upon a time, or long, long ago, let's see, a very serious matter was being debated in the Senate, and it was carried over until the following day. Now, ago agra is to do whatever it is you're doing in that specific context. So in a Senate, debate would be the thing, or I guess if we were to update it modernly, it would be to sell out all of the citizens to corporations, but you get the idea. Let's see. Placeo placere can mean it that they decide. Okay, it could be to decide. So the Senate decided that si nisi nomine, all the alleys go away, that no one was to divulge this thing. Okay, so that is an indirect command. So no one is to divulge the matter. The mother of Papirius, of the boy who had been at the Senate House, or in the Senate House with his father, asked her son what had been debated by the senators in the Senate. Or, I'm sorry, what the fathers had debated in the Senate. The boy, however, responded that it was not allowed for him to divulge the thing. Now, again, here I think licere should have gone at the other end of enuntiare, because then it tidies it up. The woman was wishing to hear all the more. The silence of the boy incited her mind, or excited her mind, the mind of her, so much so that she was asking even more viciously, or more violently, like grabbing it by the shoulders, Then the boy, with his mother urging, wise, so wise is speaking back to the boy, so the wise boy, with his mother urging, adopted a plan. He said that it had been debated in the Senate whether or not one man should have two wives, or one wife should have two husbands. When she heard this, she, in a panic, trepidans, trembling, in a panic, she headed out of home. So I just want to come back to whether the Romans were never a polygamous society, because they preferred to keep ideas of succession of property within one family. Because if you have polygamy, then you have a whole bunch of children fighting over the same land. It's not tenable. However, polyandrous is actually very tenable, and you see it in places like rural Tibet, where you'll have 5 husbands with one wife, and 4 of them will be out shepherding, and the other one stays home. One woman can only give birth once every 9 months, right? Or 8, 10 months, and that's if you're just constantly cooking more. But that limits the amount of children to inherit the land, so it's actually better for society. Alas, a patriarchy. She took herself, or she reported the debate to the other married women. Let's see. A crowd of married women came to the Senate on the following day. Weeping and begging, they begged, or they beseeched, that one wife have 2 husbands, rather than one husband having 2 wives. The senators, entering into the curia, the Senate House, were wondering what the married women wanted. The boy Papirius, having entered into the middle, told what his mother wanted to hear and what he himself had told to his mother. The Senate praised the faithfulness, the faith, and the cleverness of the boy, and they made a decree that never again afterwards will boys with their fathers enter into the curia before, except for that one Papirius. So they made kind of the Papirius rule. So that is also an indirect command because they ordered that it would happen. They made a decree. Afterwards, the cognomen, the honorific last name was given to the boy of praetextatus because he had displayed such, I'm going to say prudence, honestly. Yeah, so there's such wisdom. So there you go. That's the story of Papirius praetextatus. That's why boys don't get to go into the Senate house with their dads, except for that one boy. He was the only one because he was clever enough. So that should be the end of chapter 52, and that brings us to Cornelia's wedding, chapter 53. That's coming up next. Again, red lines, corrections, that kind of thing. Let me know if you need any help. Otherwise, I'll catch you after you're done with chapter 53. I'm going to hit the button.